I'm Jill Robinson, CEO at TRG Arts, and I'm here in Cape Cod at the home of Fred Reichheld. If you don't know the name Fred Reichheld, you know the Net Promoter System and score, likely. He's the originator, designer, partner at Bain, first fellow. Today I'm going to be talking with him about the impact of loyalty, the Net Promoter System, leadership around that whole kind of approach on arts and culture. I know you'll enjoy our conversation as much as I did. Fred Designed is the thought leader. In fact, according to the New York Times, Fred is a man who has put loyalty economics on the map. He is the king of loyalty, according to The Economist. More than 40 years at Bain. And we'll talk about that and other parts of your experience in a moment. And this conversation with Fred is about loyalty. It's about people and delivering value to our communities and so much more. I'm so grateful that you have invited us to your home here on Cape Cod.
Well, you're welcome to be here on Cape Cod.
In the middle of a sunny and humid August.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. And I think the place I'd like to start before even we get to what your experience, which is vast, has been, is to ask the question. You started writing about loyalty in business economics in the 90s. It's now 2018. It's as relevant as ever, as important as ever, has as much traction as ever?
Yeah, I've been at Bain over 40 years now, and I started noticing early on in my career that the organizations I most admired and who were succeeding were earning the loyalty of their customers and their employees. People didn't measure loyalty. It was just something I saw out of the corner of my eye. But when you did measure it, I started to understand that, boy, something very special is happening in those places, because their customers are coming back for more and bringing their friends. Their employees want to work there. They recommend that to their friends. They're proud, the values, the mission. And it turns out, as I've studied them, those are the organizations I'd like to have my kids work for, I'd like to invest in, I'd certainly like to be a customer. And we found better ways to measure that. But I'd say that set of measures has illuminated what's going on under the surface. So we measure financials very effectively, but financials are a second or third order effect, in my opinion. It's a human issue. And when you do something that is worthy of someone's loyalty, you've enriched their life, they would want that for a friend, you're getting down to the core of what our purpose is for existence.
It's an evergreen. It's an evergreen reality. But I will tell you, in 2018, maybe, as we discussed in our conversation earlier, maybe it's because of current politics, but in arts and culture in 2018, the concept of loyalty is in some conversations, in some areas, getting a little bit of a bad rap. So I was interested in whether you see this in business too, but in arts and culture, I think it gets a bad rap in the narrative or when the conversation is about sustainability. And I think sometimes administrators think loyalty is about preserving old school ways of maintaining current audiences, current maybe rich white audiences, and there's a real question about sustainability in arts and culture and the role that loyalty itself plays. So I'm curious about whether there's been shifts in business conversation about loyalty and then your reaction to what I've just described in arts and culture.
Yeah, I think there's a very strong parallel. When I started writing about loyalty and the loyalty effect, a lot of organizations started thinking, oh, I need a loyalty program. Fred sort of shown me that the only way to succeed financially is to earn the loyalty of your customers. And it is true. The only way to grow an organization sustainably is to treat your customers so they come back for more and bring their friends. That is the core. But then they think, oh, I'm going to get loyalty through cheap tricks and manipulative devices, schemes.
Yeah.
That's what they call it in England,
yes,
loyalty
indeed. Schemes. Right.
So it's like these S&H green stamps, but in today's world, it's frequent flyer points and airline miles. Those are bribes. Those really have very little to do with really earning loyalty. Loyalty is about enriching someone's life. And that's when you earn their loyalty, is when they feel like you've done something that made their life better, and you want that for a friend. And it's not loyalty to a person. Often loyalty to a person can be a bad thing. You know, when a person starts doing bad things, loyalty is evil. It's same thing with an organization. So I think the only pure loyalty is to a set of principles, an idea. And I think the idea at the core of these great organizations that are worthy of loyalty is the desire to enrich lives, that love thy neighbor is love thy neighbor is the basic idea behind all. It's the highest standard of excellence in human affairs. So with measuring loyalty, we're just getting at the core of how well you are innovating new ways to enrich a life and make it better and better. And so, ironically, I think innovation is at the center of loyalty, but I see what you mean when so many people interpret it the wrong way.
Enriching human lives. So in arts and culture, we have been early, great. In the mid-20th century, great. It started, the arts and cultural sector started getting serious about subscription, membership. I see this evolution. We held that as a centerpiece of what drove us economically, and that worked. And as the world changed, demographic groups changed in their behavior. So now today, fast forward to 2018, and those schemes, so to speak, are less a part of what drives museums, symphony orchestras, theater companies across the world. So we work in the UK, Australia, Canada, and the US, and in all 4 of those countries, these economic drivers, so to speak, are shifting. And yet, the promise, I think, in what you've just described is that what has never changed is the desire of arts and culture to positively affect people's lives.
Yeah, I think there is much less difference between arts and culture and nonprofits and the for-profits that are worthy of loyalty. They are after the same mission. They're trying to enrich lives. What I am trying to measure better and better is each day, each week, each year, of all the lives we touch, how many are enriched, how many are diminished, and that net score, I would call it net promoter score, but I suppose you could call it net lives enriched. That is at the core of what creates a great outcome for an organization.
Right, so it's actually while we're going to get to the point that in our sector, what people know most about your work is the score. And so we've moved from subscriptions and memberships working to, oh gosh, we're not seeing that work so well, and it's challenging us to understand how are we connecting and are we doing this right. And if you talk to any of my clients, there'd be some large proportion of them that would say the subscription is dead, not sure about loyalty, Jill. But what is captivating the field's attention now, I'm hearing evidence of, is this question called, could we ask the right question? Could we learn? Are we brave enough to learn?